And welcome to our week number 3 research methods live stream. I hope everyone is doing well and hanging in there. It's a chilly day today, right? It's been a little bit on the cold side, but at least the winds have died down. I'm super grateful for that. We got some rain, which was really fun. But I hope everyone is doing well. Can you all hear me and see me okay? I see a bunch of you in the chat. If somebody could let me know if everything's coming through all right on your end. Everything looks good on mine. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Awesome. Thank you so much for letting me know. So week 3, can you believe it? We're already in the 3rd week. Feels like it's just kind of flying by at this point. But let's go to Canvas together. And what I'd like to do is give you a little bit of feedback from week number 2. Just some kind of general things that I saw. And then we'll take a look at what we have going on this week, which is week number 3. We do have our first homework assignment this week, so I want to spend some time going over that to make sure you feel good about it. And then I will end with giving you the extra credit question, some reminders, and seeing if you have any questions for me. So let's go to week 2. So this was last week, and a lot of you did a beautiful job on the materials for last week, which was chapter 2, part 1. The one thing that you had due last week was discussion number 2. And there were a lot of like 13, 14, 15 points on the discussion. Great job looking at the differences between science and pseudoscience and describing that demarcation problem. The one where some people lost a couple of points is I just wanted a tiny bit more. I would say that was the biggest reason that people lost points, was just not quite giving me enough. So if you found that you lost a point or two, or you got the feedback of like, be sure to elaborate, or I wanted a little more detail, try and give me a little bit more this week so that you get full points. But a lot of you were right there or really, really close. Also, don't forget to reply to a classmate. It's worth 2 points, and I know that's only 2 points, but they're a very easy 2 points, so you want to make sure that you're always getting them. So overall, really, really nicely done. And we're still kind of setting the stage before we get to like the core materials. But this is all really important stuff, right? Science versus pseudoscience, looking at like how do we think about things? What are our sources of information? And we're building on that with the second part of chapter 2 this week. So what we'll do from here is we'll kind of look at what we have this week, again, focusing on the discussion and the homework assignment. I also have a little survey where I'm going to check in with you just to kind of see how things are going. So let's take a look at week number 2. So this week we're looking at chapter 2, part 2, so the second half of the chapter. So make sure that you read the rest of the chapter in the textbook. You'll also, of course, want to go through the lecture and go through all of this. So the first page, learning objectives and summary. We're looking at how do we find articles, how do we read scientific articles. On the second page here, a little bit about academic versus non-academic sources. Definitely an important distinction to make. And some notes here. I also have a little library session. So our librarian, Danielle Caprellian, went through and recorded this with me. And I think it's super helpful for talking about, how do you find resources on our webpage for our library? What are the differences between academic and non-academic sources? This is a really important one to watch, so make sure that you do watch it, as it will contain things that help you quite a bit this week. The last page, of course, as always, is key terms and review. So here are all the terms that you need to know from the second half of chapter 2 for exam number 1. So again, make sure you watch any video that's in there, click on any links. All those things together are going to help you with understanding the materials. There's also a lecture video. Now, I kept this one purposefully short because I had that librarian video that I wanted you to watch. But definitely watch this, kind of going through some of the pieces of information in a more of a lecture style format. Once you've read the book and you've read the lecture and you've watched the lecture video, you can do discussion number 3, and then you also have homework assignment number 1. And everything this week should coordinate together pretty nicely, all of it kind of linking. So let's look at discussion number 3, and then we'll talk about the homework assignment. As always, you have my instructions at the top, followed by my video. Definitely would recommend watching the little introduction video, as I give you a little bit more detail than I'm doing here about the topic should you need it. Don't forget to really elaborate. Again, if you find that you're missing like 1, 2, 3 points on these, give me more. Really show off that knowledge and understanding. Think about them more like mini papers. And then don't forget that peer response, of course. But with this one, you're going to pick a specific search topic related to psychology. PTSD, depression, EMDR, anorexia, personality, conditioning, anything that you want related to psychology. And then I want you to do the same search using 3 different platforms. A general search engine like Yahoo or Google or something like that. Then use Google Scholar, and then use Psych articles on our campus webpage. After you've completed your search, you're going to answer these questions. So this is again where that video from the librarian will come into handy, because she's going to show you how to use Psych articles. You'll also need it for the homework assignment. So again, all of it kind of coordinating together. So number 1, you'll tell me what was your search topic. Number 2, you're going to reflect on the differences between the 3 different search platforms that you used. What kind of information did you get from the general search engine? Were they based on research or more like commercial websites or blogs? Which of the 3 platforms was the easiest to use when you want a general overview? Which platform will give you the most up-to-date research? And which of the 3 makes it easiest to know if the information has been peer-reviewed? So you're kind of reflecting on the differences between those 3 different platforms. Number 3, what is the difference between an academic source and a non-academic source? Give me an example of each. Again, something from the videos and the lecture. And then number 4, describe an advantage and disadvantage of using Wikipedia. The librarian also talks about this quite a bit in her little video, so all of that will be helpful here. When you're ready, you'll hit reply, and then don't forget to also reply to a classmate to get those 2 points for that peer response. Now, very related to this, you also have your first homework assignment this week. So remember that there's 4 of these homework assignments. They're worth 25 points. So it's more than a discussion. So you definitely want to spend some time on this. And let's go through it together. The homework assignment is linked right here. So if you click on it, it'll bring up the instructions along with, you can see up here where it says start assignment. This is where you're going to turn it in. So the instructions are here, and this is all the information that you need. The point of this homework assignment, the first one, is for you to gain experience locating an APA-style empirical article through the Psych articles area on our website. And you're going to practice locating specific components of an empirical article as well. So just to help you get familiar with finding an academic source and then identifying the different pieces of it, this should be roughly 1 to 2 pages altogether, standard margins, typed, Times New Roman, size 12 font, double spaced, all the typical APA style formatting kind of stuff. And please make sure you label everything. Make it really easy for me to figure out like what you're looking at. There is a sample, little sample submission right here that I showed you, so you can see like how a person put the title, the author, the journal, the abstract, you know, each little section. Identify it for me, make it where I don't have to second guess. You're going to go, I gave you some details here, so you're going to go to Psych articles on the Moore Park College Library webpage, and then you're going to follow these steps. And again, the librarian Danielle Caprellian showed you how to do this in that video, so that might be really helpful for you. You're going to pick a topic related to psychology. Now, you are more than welcome to use the same topic you did for the discussion. So this could kind of double dip a little bit for you. You could use, let's say you did PTSD for discussion number 3. You could also use it here, and then you are kind of cutting down your work a little bit. So you're going to pick a topic and search for it. And I want you to locate an empirical article that adheres to APA style. So what I mean by that is it should have an abstract, an introduction, method, results, discussion, and references section. So it should have all these very like clearly labeled different sections in the paper. If you open it and it doesn't have one of these, find another one, right? So you want to make sure it has each of these sections. Those are like the standard sections of an APA style journal article. You're going to click on PDF full text. You're going to download and save a copy of the article. You're going to be uploading that copy so that I can double check your work against the article and have a chance to look at it. So in addition to uploading the article, you're going to provide the following information. I want you to give me the title, the authors, and the publication information for your article. So following that sample submission, title, so label it title and then give me the title. Authors, give me the authors. Journal and publication information, and give me that. So more than creating like new stuff for this assignment, you're identifying the components of something that you found. Right? I want you to copy and paste the abstract for your article and label it abstract, just as I did right here. I want you to then do a quick read of the article. Okay, so I don't think you need to spend a ton of time reading it, but read it. Read through the article. Just try and give it like a quick skim to get the essence of it. And you're going to copy and paste as well the first sentence for each section of the paper. So you're going to label introduction and then copy and paste the first sentence. Method, copy and paste the first sentence. Results, discussions, so on. This is my way of kind of getting you to identify those different components. And then what I'm going to be doing is checking to make sure that they match. And then at the end, once you've read it, you're going to summarize your article in a couple of sentences. So let's imagine that you were telling like a partner or a friend or a family member, hey, I just read this article, and a couple of sentences, how would you summarize it? All right, so you're going to be uploading your article, like the PDF of your article and the paper, right here on where it says start assignment. And so make sure that you do upload the article. If you don't, you will lose some points, and I would hate for that to happen to you. Remember that this is worth 25 points altogether. There are some restrictions on the document type that you can upload, so just make sure that you're keeping that in mind. That's just so that I can open what you upload. But I look forward to seeing the articles that you come up with. Again, it can be on anything related to psychology, and you're welcome to also use that topic for the discussion this week and kind of get a little bit of both out of it. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Again, I gave you like a little sample submission right here. So follow that format and you should be in good shape. It should be roughly like a page, maybe 2 at the most. And more than creating anything new, you're identifying components of what's already there. Other than this like couple of sentence summary, which will be the one thing that you do kind of create for this paper. Are there any questions at all about the homework assignment? Anything you're confused about? Again, make sure you watch that library video. That's really going to help you with navigating the psych articles, especially if you're feeling a little overwhelmed or confused by that. And this should also very much coordinate with discussion number 3. If you think of any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, I'll keep going, but put it in there if you think of something, or maybe you're typing right now. There's also a little checking in survey that I would like you to fill out. It's not worth any points, right? It's just kind of a chance for me to check in with you. And there's no time limit since it's not worth any points. It's just me kind of asking you what you think of the class so far. Is there anything you're struggling with? Everything is completely anonymous. So if there's something you really like or really don't like, please feel free to share it. It's not required, but I would love your feedback if you have any so far. And if not, that's okay too. I will post the recording for this live stream in a little bit after it's like uploaded and downloaded. And I do have some reminders and extra credit to give you right now. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. So I already typed this out, so I'm going to put it in here. Don't forget to take a moment each week to double check your subscription status. I have very few people who did this, and if you couldn't figure it out, that's okay. But as I mentioned before, it saves me so much time, so I don't have to match up all of your names to all of your Twitch names. And also, if you're watching this later as a recording, the only way you can still get extra credit is to be subscribed. So if you have a chance to figure that out, I'd really appreciate it. You can do that at any time. The other reminder I have for you, if you're looking ahead, our next Twitch live stream will be on Wednesday, February 5th at 1:00 p.m. Okay, so I put that in the chat for you. We will have another live stream next Wednesday. I'm going to try and stick to the same day and time as much as possible. And again, of course, they'll always be recorded if you can't make it. That way you can watch it later. So let me give you the extra credit question. And I did write this out ahead of time, as I always will, just to make my life easier. So this is the week number 3 Twitch extra credit question. Which is, what are some of the questions you should ask about a website before using it as a research resource? What are some of the questions you should ask about a website before using it as a research resource? So when you're ready to answer that, and that's definitely something you can find in the lecture and the video and everything for this week, you'll go to week 3, since we're in week 3, and click on optional Twitch extra credit number 3 right here. And then up at the top, you'll click on Start Assignment. And that brings up this little box where you can type your response. And when you feel good about it and ready, you'll hit Submit for confetti. And are those gnomes? Yeah, confetti and gnomes. Why not? Like I love like waiting for whatever randomness it's going to be each time. So remember that that is worth 2 points, and you can get those 2 points by answering the question and joining me here live, which many of you are here with me today. Thank you for being here. Or if you're joining me later and watching this as a recording, you can still get those points if you're subscribed on Twitch. So, big things for this week. Again, make sure that you read that second half of chapter 2. Don't forget to watch the lecture video, and don't forget to watch the librarian's video in there. That will be really helpful for discussion 3 and the homework assignment, which are those other components that you have this week. So again, remember that I don't accept things late beyond the deadline, so please just be really mindful of that as we get closer to the deadline on Sunday. If something does come up, you're always welcome to email me before the deadline if you need like an extension, or if something's going on and you need to maybe have other circumstances. But please be really mindful of the deadlines. Please take advantage of the extra credit. And thank you so much for all of you joining me live today. I really appreciate it, or watching it later. Either way. What I will do is I'm going to hang out for a few minutes. We're at about 20 minutes. Again, kind of short and sweet from here on out. But if you have any questions for me, I will hang out. Anything about the homework or the discussion or any of that kind of stuff. We do also have our first exam coming up soon, right? So it's not quite yet, not till next week. But if you did want to start preparing for that, remember that each week you have the key terms for that chapter, so you could start reviewing those if you wanted to think ahead. Otherwise, next week I'll focus on that first exam and making sure that you're feeling prepared. Okay, so as I said, I'll hang out for a little bit if you have any questions. I am going to minimize my video so I'm not staring at myself, but if you think of anything, I'm here. Otherwise, I hope you all have a wonderful week and a wonderful day. Thank you. I'm going to put that in the chat here. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll hope to see you all next Wednesday for our week number 4 live stream, where again I'll be going over that first exam in some detail next week. Thank you as well. I hope you have a great day. Thank you too. Have a wonderful day, a wonderful afternoon. And if you think of a question later, feel free to email me, or again, I'll hang out for a few minutes if you want to put it in the chat. I'd be happy to answer it.